Welcome back to Sick of the. My name's Doug. This is Bria, and we're here to just talk about different subjects in regards to health. And just an interesting story that just sparked the conversation for us today was, I was working out in the gym on Saturday, and one of the young moms came up to me and was like, I need a, everybody in the gym knows me as the supplement guy, but she comes up to me and she's like, why, or what collagen product is the best one for me to take? And I looked at her and kind of said something that shocked her. I'm like, you don't need a collagen. And she's like, exactly, was her response was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, why do you need a collagen? Well, my friends told me about these ones. I've seen them advertised on Facebook, and the reading I've done, has suggested that me in my early 40s should start taking a collagen product. And, I basically said to her, for the last thousands of years, have we needed collagen products? And any time that you sort of say that, because so much of the health world nowadays is based on marketing, right? Based on what's a product that I can sell somebody that bases into a fear that they have is an insecurity about themselves. Does that make sense? And that pretty much just defined the whole cosmetic industry as well. So when we look at what we see out there, and when we see ads on Facebook and we see ads on Google or whatever we're doing on the internet, and it's like, you need this because this is broken in your body, or you need this because this is going wrong with you. Well, we've got to take a step back for a second and think, why is this a new fad? Why is this a new trend? And why do I need to have this today, when at no part in human history have we needed this before? But on the other side of it is the marketing aspect of health is so apparent nowadays, and it's just playing into the inferiorities and insecurities of people to try and get them to take an action. Does that make sense? Am I just rambling?
No, I'm completely with you. And if ice can be sold to the Eskimo, I'm the Eskimo pulling my wallet out. Like, that's me, and I totally understand. But then it does get in your head, and then our phones, Siri and Alexa and everybody are listening. And then that's all I'm gonna see. And then I'm like, yeah, I do need collagen. You're right. I didn't even know that I needed collagen, but now I do need collagen.
Exactly. And I just wish there was more honesty and transparency in this space for people to realize that, hey, my body produces collagen, right? And so when I was having this conversation with this young mom on Saturday, and it was like, yeah, I said, you don't need collagen. She says, well, how am I going to protect this from, getting old? And the first thing I said is drink lots of good water, because one of the biggest effects to aging and to wrinkles and to having, skin that appears to be, getting older, the first thing is actually proper hydration. And when we look at both males and females, that is one of the primary things, is people aren't drinking enough good water. They're maybe drinking a lot throughout the day, as far as soda pop and coffee and all of these other kind of substances, but they're actually not just getting the right hydration into the body. So that's kind of step one, let's say, in our you don't need collagen regimen. Number two, proper mineralization, proper herbs, proper nutrition is going to go a long way. And antioxidants, and you're, Bria, you're the health practitioner. I'm sure that this is something that comes up with you every day when you're talking to people about these matters.
Yeah, absolutely. And I, back in my glory days as Mrs. United States fame, claim to fame, taking my 15 minutes and really trying to stretch it out
Run with
here.
it. Run with it.
But I am. But I've been in the industry for well over a decade. And was told preventative Botox and oh, I don't want wrinkles. Yes, I should do preventative Botox. You know, you need fillers and you need this and that and all of that. And I'll be completely honest, like Botox is great until you get a brow up here and down here. And then you realize what's actually in Botox. And then your face is frozen and then that's great and you look young, but then it goes away and you need more Botox and then you need more and then you need more and then you know your face is frozen, so then you need fillers and then you need this and that and all of this. But nobody talks about free radical damage. Nobody talks about let's have some antioxidants. Nobody talks about let's get those vitamins and minerals, exactly like you were saying, Doug. Let's start with the basics. Nobody talks about gosh, on dry brushing. It's let's use a laser for this. Let's use you know, let's use this for this and all of these other toxic chemicals that are going to have these side effects. And yeah, they're cancer causing carcinogens, but you're going to look great. And again, I'm the Eskimo pulling out my wallet, but I've been completely sucked in and, you know, again, learn from my mistakes. I started Botox at I think 28 and, you know, it was a learning lesson, but then I was like, is my face really is it really that wrinkled? Or is it the damage that I did with the Botox? And you know, I haven't being pregnant, I haven't had Botox for a long time. And trying to get pregnant. And there's lots of great stuff that you can do that is all natural. And we can, you know, go into all of that too. But guys, you're being marketed to, you're being sold to, and you know, this guy is listening, and the more that you think that you need it, the more that they're going to sell you on it. So don't make my mistakes. How's that?
Yeah, and the more you talk about it, the more it's going to retarget and present, you know, those advertisements that say, you know, you need this to solve that, right? Whereas, and here's one of the biggest problems too, is, and you were touching on this, is we spend years, I'm going to say, wreaking havoc on our body. And, you know, from the foods that we eat, the chemicals that we ingest, and, you know, you as a Miss United States of America, me, you know, just average guy, you know, prior firefighter kind
Supplement king. That's why he's getting hit up at the he's wearing the supplement king. That's why he's getting hit up at the gym, guys. Don't be fooled.
well, okay, sure. But, you know, we just spend decades destroying our body, and unfortunately, you know, a lot of that destruction starts at birth now with the things that go into babies' bodies in the hospital, and then, you know, the foods, the everything that they get served from childbirth. Then you get to our age, right? And yeah, you're younger than I am, but let's just say we get to this middle life area, right? And it's like, man, like we've wreaked havoc on our body. So what the world and what marketing and what everything tells us is, hey, you know what? That's okay that it took you all this time to beat the daylights out of yourself. Within a few hours, within a few quick sessions of this, within a few quick pills and drinks of that, we're going to get all of that restored. And it doesn't work that way. And that's the story that nobody's telling, is there, you know, Botox, for instance, you know, it's a quick fix that even makes the problem worse down the road. So many of these different pills that people take, and I'm going to lump collagen into that, where it's being presented as a quick fix to give you that look. The only quick fix is the best fix, which is the long fix, which is stop what's causing the problems today and give the body what it needs for tomorrow and the everyday therefore on. And with that, I'm sorry to say, you're not going to see overnight success, but you're going to see the best success, and it's going to be long term. And we got to find a way to talk to people better about this, because it's not flashy, it's not salesy, but it's the truth. And I think more than anything today, people need to hear the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, if you're what's going to work out better if you, I'm trying to think of a good example here. What's going to work out better if you burn your hand and you're trying, you know, all of the neosporins and all of this stuff on it, or just not touching a hot stove. I mean, if you don't touch the hot stove, then we don't need all of this other stuff. So again, I'm the Eskimo pulling out my wallet. But let's talk about what to do to prevent this stuff that doesn't have side effects. Let's look at those deficiencies. Let's look at those toxicities. Let's see what's going on. Do you feel like you're wrinkling too early? Okay, let's talk about it. Let's look at your omega inflammation scores. Let's look at the free radical damage. Are you eating antioxidants? Are you eating 7 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables a day? Let's talk about this stuff first. And then, if you want to add something like collagen in later, yeah, okay, cool. But let's start with the basics first and build that foundation to prevent the problem. And then if you want to add more stuff, knock yourself out. But let's start with the basics.
Give your body what it needs. Give your bodies the basics of nutrition, the basics of hydration. Get to a baseline where your body is getting the daily necessities. And then from there, work on the building blocks. But don't put the building blocks into an already broken system. And if we can leave people, with one thing today coming out of this, it's just be very, very careful what we see online. Be very careful on how a company's marketing their products, and if they're using fear to sell it or if they're using vanity to sell it, because the body's a healing, treating, curing machine in itself if we give it what it needs to do so. And that's a hard message to monetize for most companies. We just want to speak the truth, offer the best that we can, and get the body course corrected to what it was divinely done, developed to do in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't recommend reading the ingredients list enough. Yeah, okay, collagen, there might be some good stuff in there, but if it's filled with artificial dyes and flavors and artificial sweeteners, it negates all of the benefits of, whatever you're trying to do anyways. And I mean, even drink red wine for your health. Well, okay, resveratrol, but all of the benefits of alcohol are all of the problems with alcohol, as your body sees it as a toxin, are going to negate any benefits that you may get from the teeny tiny little bit of resveratrol that you would need to drink. I think it's like a bottle of wine or something crazy to get any type of benefits from the resveratrol anyways. So, make sure that you look, and not that I'm completely against red wine or anything like that, but make sure that you're looking at the whole picture. Make sure that you're looking at those ingredient labels. Make sure that you aren't just being sold exactly like Doug said from fear, because then you too can be the Eskimo pulling out your wallet.
Well, what's crazy is, and people are, people can take this, what I'm going to say here, however they want. And this is going to be relevant. When we look at hot dogs were developed because there was all of this waste coming from the animal. And it's like, how do we turn that into a profit source? Right? So they ground it all up and created what's called the hot dog. Right? But and people will eat a hot dog and enjoy a hot dog and think, man, this is great. But nobody wants to think about what's in that hot dog, right? It's just they turn that part of their brain off and say, I'm going to enjoy this for what it is. Okay, where am I going with this? Collagen. Most people do not realize that when you think of collagen, where is collagen coming from? And people think that so many of these supplements and so many of these things that they're putting in their body has a fancy word to it. It's got to be good for me, right? But have you ever stopped to think about what is collagen? Where does it come from? Probably not, because you're always hearing about what are the potential benefits of collagen. So, cat out of the bag. Most collagens are coming from hoofs. So you think of where they're creating your meat products, there's the leftover parts of the animal. There is the hoofs of a cow ground up. That's a form of collagen. Chickens and turkeys, the manes that are underneath the neck, that red piece of hangy skin that they can't do anything with. In food processing, guess what? There's parts of your collagen. a lot of the collagen products on the market today are actually waste products of animals through the processing piece. And this is something that nobody's talking about, is, is where is this collagen coming from? There are good sources of collagen. If somebody's going to take collagen, don't think that I'm just, sort of blanketing the whole industry into that. It's not true. There's a lot of that out there, but there's also collagen that's coming out of France that is actually the skin of the fish that's properly raised, is properly processed. But the hard thing to find is when you look at a health product, for instance, right? And this is a collagen, for instance. In very, very small cases are companies identifying the source of the collagen. So they're just saying it's a type 1, type 2, type 3. And, people read and say, okay, type 2 is for this part of my body or does this. But it's not like, hey, what am I consuming here, right? So it's ultra be careful with this. And like anything else that we take, even though we're trying to maybe take a natural approach to wellness, where are these ingredients that I'm taking being derived from? Like, what is the source of it? And am I being sold a bill of goods, or am I being sold something that's actually going to make a difference? But like so much of the natural products industry, the collagen industry is full of a lot of substandard products, let's say, that are ingredients that we wouldn't want to take into our body on a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely. And taking a step back even further. So you are what you eat, but you are what you eat. What you eat eats. So if I'm eating cow's hooves and cows are you're consuming in my smoothie, whatever it may be, putting in my, drink, whatever, and cows are being given Skittles, then I'm eating Skittles. And if the chickens that I'm eating, like you were talking about, if they're given hormones, then I'm eating hormones. But I'm eating organic chicken, so why, I am what I eat. So I don't want that in my body. So I highly recommend here in the US, GMP certified third-party tested products. Make sure that your products are tested. Again, read those labels. If a company's not telling you where they came from and how they process or revealing any type of testing or anything like that, be wary. Read things through yellow colored glasses. Just keep digging.
Yeah, and what's surprising on that, and I don't want to take us too far off of topic, but the amount of companies that actually don't third-party lab test their products. And we'll touch on this for a different episode, but health supplements, for instance, many of the health supplements that people take all come from the same manufacturer, all come from the same fulfillment center. And it's just when somebody orders that product online, it tells the system, hey, you're going to print this label on the product, right? Because you bought it from this website, or you're going to print this label on the product because it came from a different website, same product, or you're going to print this label because it came from this company. All the same products, different companies coming from the same manufacturer, the same fulfillment center. All it is marketing. So when you've got 3 different products all doing the same thing, all with the same formulation, for instance, that those companies can't give you a lab report because they don't have a lot number to the product that coincides with a third-party lab report. And let's save this because this is a huge discussion for us to talk about to help further people's understanding of how do I pick a good supplement? What is a good supplement? This all started around collagen today, and I hope that we've given some good nuggets around collagen and what to think about. But first and foremost, hydration, proper foods, proper mineralization, proper vitamins and minerals and everything. before collagen, and you'll probably find 9 times out of 10 the body will kick into producing the collagen that it should be naturally, without A, having to spend a bunch of money, and B, go for the vanity of something that you actually don't need.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you see results not typical or paid spokesperson, again, just be extra careful. Keep
Totally.
digging.
Totally. So we'll be back with more information coming soon. Thank you for listening, and thanks for being a part of this.